To find the number of protons, electrons, and neutrons for nitrogen, we'll complete the chart here using the periodic table and then just a few basic rules. So usually you're given one or two of these numbers and asked to find the other ones. If we're given nitrogen, we can look that up on the periodic table. We'd find nitrogen is N. That's the element symbol for nitrogen. We can also see the atomic number. That's the number above the element symbol. It's usually above the element symbol. The atomic number is 7 for nitrogen. Underneath the element symbol here, we have the atomic mass. That's 14.01. Because periodic tables vary, remember the atomic mass is more massive. It's bigger than the atomic number, and often it has decimal places. To find the number of protons for nitrogen, we need to know that the atomic number, that equals the number of protons. So since we have an atomic number of 7, our number of protons is 7. And all nitrogen atoms have 7 protons. To find the number of electrons for nitrogen, we know that the number of protons will equal the number of electrons for a neutral element. So all the elements on the periodic table, those are neutral. Electrons equals protons. We have 7 protons, so we have 7 electrons for nitrogen. You can tell if an element's neutral because it will have nothing written after the element symbol. If it has something written, a plus or a minus after it in a superscript, that means it's an ion. It's not neutral. But we said on the periodic table, all the elements are neutral. And the number of protons will equal the number of electrons. To find the number of neutrons for nitrogen, we also need to find the mass number. So the mass number, that equals protons plus neutrons. If you're not given the mass number, what you can do is take the atomic mass and round that to a whole number. So instead of 14.01, we'll round that to 14, and that's our mass number. Now we know if we have 14 for our mass number, and we know we have 7 protons, then the neutrons is going to have to equal something that'll give us 14. 7 plus 7, that gives us 14. So we have 7 neutrons for nitrogen. At this point, we found the protons, electrons, neutrons, and mass number for nitrogen. But what happens if you're given a mass number that's different, an isotope of nitrogen? Let's say you're told you have nitrogen and the mass number is 15. In this case, we know the atomic number, that's the number of protons. We can still look the atomic mass up, that's 14.01. Protons is the same as the atomic number, we have 7. Number of protons and electrons are equal in a neutral atom. So neutrons, well, we have 15 as our mass number. Protons we said are 7, so 7 plus 8, that'll give us 15. In this case, we have 8 neutrons. For isotopes, they have the same number of protons, but different numbers of neutrons. So for nitrogen, most of the nitrogen atoms have 7 neutrons, but a few, they have 8 neutrons. We take that average, that gives us our atomic mass. But for this specific isotope of nitrogen with 8 neutrons, we add our protons and neutrons, 7 plus 8, that gives us our mass number of 15. If you're having trouble with the difference between atomic mass and mass number, remember it this way. Atomic mass, that's a weighted average of the different isotopes, and that means that it'll be a decimal, like this right here. The mass number, it's a whole number. That's specific to one isotope of nitrogen. In this case, it's the one with 8 neutrons. Mass number, that's a whole number. Let's wrap up with a bit of practice and then check your work. So pause and complete this table for oxygen. So there you have it. This is Dr. B with the protons, electrons, neutrons, and mass number for nitrogen. Thanks for watching.